Hello everyone, and welcome to my CBS GH spoiler channel. I hope everyone is having a wonderful day. Before we begin, please hit the subscribe button and give this video a thumbs up. General Hospital GH spoilers hint that there could be a major twist coming up in the car crash storyline. That's because they were really two separate crashes that need to be addressed. According to Carly Spencer, Laura Wright, Danny Morgan, Asher Antonizin, and Charlotte Cassadine, Bluesy Burke, had no idea about the other accident that happened a few miles down on Route 91. Despite Valentin Cassadine's concerns about Charlotte potentially telling Carly what she wanted to hear, we're inclined to believe the teens are telling the truth. That brings us to Brook Lynn's weird behavior in recent GH episodes. We know that Brook Lynn had been drinking before she hopped in her car and sped over to Charlie's pub, where she hoped to watch Giovanni Mazza, perform. Brook Lynn didn't show up in time for the performance, which could mean there was a little delay on the road. We also know Brook Lynn was acting like she had something to hide throughout the evening at the pub. However, Brook Lynn was in good spirits later when she gushed to Tracy Quartermaine, Jane Elliott, about Gio's talent and how far they'd come in their relationship. BLQ wasn't acting like a woman who just caused a horrific accident across town. In fact, Brook Lynn looked rather taken aback and disturbed over Tracy's mention of a terrible accident causing traffic. Let's consider for a moment how all these details could work together for the twist we mentioned. What if Brook Lynn's secret involves Danny and Charlotte's crash instead? It's possible Brook Lynn veered into the teens' lane and caused it in her tipsy state, but it's also possible she just saw their smashed car and stopped to help. Danny and Charlotte were clearly fine, so maybe they insisted there was no need to involve the cops. Danny and Charlotte might have pleaded with Brook Lynn to just let them call Carly to handle this. Brook Lynn ordinarily wouldn't have left two teenagers in that situation, but she might have if she worried she'd get a DUI and lose the chance to foster Phoebe. Brook Lynn could have been afraid that she'd knock herself out of a future adoption with Harrison Chase as well. Brook Lynn might have agreed to leave the scene before heading to the pub, which would explain why she was rattled upon her arrival. If Charlotte and Danny had no clue about the other accident, Brook Lynn might not have known either. That would explain why Brook Lynn was fine talking to Tracy until the terrible accident was mentioned. Now, Brook Lynn might be worried that she inadvertently helped the teens cover up their own involvement in the other crash. Brook Lynn may suspect that Danny and Charlotte were holding on her earlier. It may not be long until Brook Lynn confronts Charlotte and Danny to see if they caused the other accident, and that's why they were so adamant about keeping things quiet. Danny and Charlotte may swear to Brook Lynn that they were in the dark on the second crash until much later. Even so, Brook Lynn may start to fear their separate cover-up could be a problem as news about Jordan Ashford and Curtis Ashford spreads. General Hospital spoilers say there are many more puzzle pieces ahead in this storyline, so stay tuned. General Hospital devotees have spent weeks dissecting the devastating collision that left Danny Morgan and Charlotte Cassadine clinging to life, with most fingers firmly pointed at the infamous Jordan Ashford and Curtis Ashford accident as the tragic catalyst. But hold on to your remotes, GH faithful, because a bombshell new theory is sweeping fan forums, and it could rewrite everything. What if Brook Lynn Quartermaine is the one truly responsible for putting those two innocent teenagers in the hospital? Yes, you read that correctly. While the drama surrounding Jordan and Curtis has conveniently dominated every headline and every whispered conversation at the Savoy and Kelly's Diner, sharp-eyed superfans are now connecting dots that the show's writers may have deliberately buried, and the trail leads straight back to one fiercely ambitious, increasingly reckless Brook Lynn. Here's what we know. In the weeks leading up to the wreck, Brook Lynn has been spiraling. Her music career is hanging by a thread, her relationship is under enormous strain, and she's been making increasingly desperate, impulsive decisions that have rattled nearly everyone around her. She's been driving, frantically, emotionally, and distracted on more than one occasion through the exact stretch of road where disaster ultimately struck. Now, here's where it gets absolutely chilling. Sources close to the General Hospital production are hinting that an upcoming episode will feature a witness stepping forward, someone who was on that road that fateful night. And this mystery witness? They don't remember seeing Jordan and Curtis's vehicle at the scene. What they do remember is a car matching the description of Brook Lynn's being driven erratically just minutes before Danny and Charlotte's vehicle was sent careening off the road. Let that sink in. The entire town of Port Charles has been grieving, pointing fingers, assigning blame, and building courtroom cases against the wrong people. Jordan and Curtis have been drowning in guilt, their already fractured bond stretched to a near breaking point over an accident they may have had absolutely nothing to do with. And Brook Lynn, she's been right there, attending vigils, crying at bedsides, playing the role of the devastated, concerned friend to absolute perfection. But General Hospital has always been the master of misdirection. Showrunners know exactly how to drape a bombshell in layers of grief and chaos until the truth detonates like a grenade in the middle of a quiet family dinner. And everything, the timeline, the geography, Brook Lynn's increasingly erratic emotional state, and her conspicuous need to insert herself into every conversation about the accident are pointing towards a secret she absolutely cannot afford to have surface. The stakes could not be higher. If Brook Lynn is guilty of the crash, it doesn't just destroy her, it obliterates the Quartermaine family's already complicated standing in Port Charles. It hands Ned and Olivia the most devastating scandal of their lives. It potentially sends Brook Lynn to prison, and it forces the one man who loves her to make an impossible choice between loyalty and justice. Meanwhile, Danny and Charlotte remain in critical condition, two young lives hanging in the balance while the truth hides in plain sight, protected by Brook Lynn's desperate silence and the town's misplaced assumptions. General Hospital has been laying breadcrumbs for months, and fans who go back and re-watch key scenes are now spotting glances, pauses, and carefully worded denials that suddenly read very, very differently under this theory's light. Is Brook Lynn truly guilty? Is she covering for someone else? Or is this all one massive, elaborate red herring designed to lose viewers' minds before the real truth explodes onto screen? One thing is absolutely certain. Port Charles will never be the same once this secret gets out. Stay locked in to General Hospital, because the truth, it is coming, and it is going to be absolutely devastating.